Welcome back to another Mindful Monday. What a crazy roller coaster of a week it has been, right? Whew. I can't believe that all happened in one week. So I spent a lot of time thinking about how I can best bring to you a practice that's helpful in this moment. And I had a lot of ideas that came to me, and those will get out. We have endless Mindful Mondays to connect with one another. So picking and choosing, I was going back and forth. What do I want to do? And while I was doing that, here in New England, it was fantastic weather, like unbelievably beautiful weather. It was high 70s and bright and sunny. It felt like summertime out there. And so I spent a majority of the weekend outside in nature, and I found some new trails to explore, some of my favorite things to do. And that's when it hit me. I was like, this is always exactly what I need. And everything, all of my mindful practices really can kind of be wrapped up right into that moment. It's for me, being in nature outside, especially in the sunshine, is healing. It is grounding. It is perspective giving. It is what gives me life. It is my sanctuary, my place of worship. It's very special to me. And then I started reflecting over, those times of stress, like earlier in the week, how I was handling stress and how I typically handle stress. And my immediate reaction is to double down on trying harder, working harder, doing more, keeping busy. And it dawned on me that my mindful practice needs to be to make a commitment to get outside in nature every single day. Never to go more than 24 hours without stepping outside. Even if it's raining, snowing, miserable outside. Even just walking down to the end of the road. You can dress appropriately. Walking to the end of the road and back, and really being in that moment, being in nature, it does something to you. It is really healing. So that is my commitment. And, when we make these commitments to ourselves, it helps to say it out loud, to make it something that we follow through on and make it more concrete for us. So that's what I'm doing. And I will be writing it in the blog too, so I'll be writing it down and signing it. So it is a true commitment from me to myself. It's not to any of you, but I am sharing it with you. And so if you want to incorporate this as well, I understand that maybe not everyone is as committed to doing the every 24 hours like I am. But I would highly recommend that you never go more than 2 days without getting outside. On that third day, got to get out there. It does something for you. And when you're out there, you don't want to just put in headphones and start ruminating about all the things that you should be doing, could be doing with that time, all that. But none of that's helpful in that moment because you've made a commitment. You're already out there. You're not doing those things. So why are you allowing your mind to go there, right? Instead, be fully present in the moment. Really allow yourself to be there and allow it to heal you and to give you that perspective that you need and to revitalize you so you can go back and you can be better and stronger and more committed than you were before. We have a lot of work to do, so we need to be taking those moments. So when I first go out, I always take a deep breath. And last week we talked about intentions. This is another one of those times when I kind of set an intention about what it is that I want and expect from myself in this time and what I hope to gain from it. So whether I'm going for a run on the trails, my gain might be to expel the excess energy and anxiety that I have, or to reach a new milestone, personal best, or it could be just that I feel like I need to move and I need to stretch my legs, and there's no pressure on solving any problems and there's no pressure on breaking any of my records. It's just for pure enjoyment. Or there may be times when I just need to clear my head. I need all of the thoughts that are swirling around to dissipate and leave so that I can refocus. And in that case, you need to start practicing more of the meditative practices where you're able to recognize your thoughts, acknowledge them, and say goodbye to them. Kind of like clouds passing. We talked about that in our very first episode. You recognize that these things are coming in and leaving, but they're not a part of you. You can say goodbye to them and let them pass through and take the lessons that you can from them. So you need to set your intention, and whatever time that you have, maybe it's just 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe you have an hour that you can spend out there, and commit to following through that intention for that specified amount of time. And then make sure that you're breathing. We did practice our deep breathing, and we've practiced that throughout some of our Mindful Mondays. You're breathing in through your nose, slowly, all the way down to your belly, and then you're exhaling through your mouth, slowly, like you're blowing out a candle. And fully exhale. So you want to make sure that you're breathing throughout. So even on my runs, I'm practicing my breathing techniques. I've been really working on only nose breathing and no mouth breathing, which is very difficult, and does slow me down. I'm used to running really quite fast, actually, and this practice has slowed my time down significantly, but I know that it is a better practice for me, so I'm being intentional in that. And then, like I said, you want to make sure that you acknowledge any thoughts that come in, but don't ruminate on them. Don't allow them to take up too much space and worry. And really look around you. Like, nature is always changing. It's beautiful. There's always something new to see. Even if you're on the same trails every day, there's always something new. It's always changing. Maybe you see a new critter, a new animal, you hear a new bird. Maybe the leaves are changing. Here they're all falling off, so the paths look different. It's actually quite tricky to stay on the path unless you're very familiar with them. The skyline changes, the light changes. Right now in the mid to late afternoon, the light is just incredibly beautiful. So really focus and notice all of those things. Maybe look at the clouds, or they're making shapes. Be a child, play with them. See what you can find in them. Stop when you see something that catches your eye and really admire it, touch it. Be careful. Or maybe you want to capture a picture of it to remember that moment, whatever it is. But be present and be fully aware. And also checking in with your body. How are you feeling? Does this feel good? Do you have any aches and pains that need your attention? Is there any part of your body that's kind of letting you know that it needs that attention? Or is this something that you didn't even recognize that you needed? Like, do you feel invigorated? Do you feel good? Does your body feel useful? Like, that is something that we overlook a lot, is that our bodies are made to be worked. And when we don't take advantage of that and we don't use them, we stiffen up, our breathing gets shallow, we tighten, and we just feel overall kind of yuck. But when we get out and we start moving and using our bodies, it feels fantastic. And if you're not in the physical shape that you wish that you were, just allow yourself the time and space to get there. You'll get there as long as you keep at it. Keep with it. And maybe you have some physical limitations. So trying to figure out what is right for your body getting outside. Everyone can be outside. It's just making sure that it's what works best for you. And I promise you, it's going to bring you so much perspective. You realize once you get out there and you start practicing the mindfulness, you realize how insignificant your problems are, how small you are. You know, you're watching as the leaves continue to change and fall off the trees and then regrow in the spring. The birds come and they go. Everything kind of goes into hibernation in the winter but comes back in the spring. It's all a part of the cycle. It's all a part of the universe. It's part of the process. And we are just a very, very small piece. You know, we have a lot of meaning to some people, but overall, our problems are just so tiny, so insignificant. And that can be really freeing, to realize that all of these things that are causing you so much stress, it's okay. It really doesn't matter. You know, the leaves are still going to change. The snow is still going to come. The sun is still going to come out. Life goes on and it'll be okay. So that is my mindful practice that I wanted to share with you this week. I hope that you found something helpful in it, something that maybe sparked an interest in you getting outside or making a commitment to yourself. Maybe it has nothing to do with being outside. Maybe this is reminding you of a space that you feel is your sanctuary, or an activity that feels like a sanctuary or an act of worship for you. You know, maybe it's creating art and you've kind of gotten away from it and you're ready to make that commitment to come back to it. So if that's the case, please share with us in the comments what it is that you are doing and that you are committing to for yourself, just for you, to help ground you, reconnect you, invigorate you, and bring you back to who you are and what your priorities are. I would love to hear how we are all different and yet we all have something. So please share with us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on Talk to Me Tuesday. Till then, enjoy.